Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Miss Wilkins for Orchestra on the Go and Orchestra Tube. What I'd like to do is just do a quick body to instrument setup video for violin and viola, just to make sure that I hit these important points about what you should be looking for in proper left hand playing technique and setup. The bow I've covered in some other videos, so you can go take a look at the bow hold videos for the right hand. Okay, so first off, we're mostly going to start in rest position, or sometimes this is called guitar position, and where we've got the instrument under our right elbow. And from here, this is the way I like to have students put the instrument up on their shoulder, making some cupcakes here right on the side bout of the instrument, swinging their thumb around the neck, and then going up and over and landing on their shoulder. So what I have students do is to practice turning their head, so that if their head is this way, we can still put it there and we turn our head and drop. So then when I want students to face a board or their music or me as a teacher, then they can pivot their body, turn their feet slightly to the right, and then they can point their scroll at the teacher, and then they can look down their fingerboard for sight and watch their fingers while they're watching you. Okay, so some important indicators for this basic setup for both violin and viola, making sure that we've got the instrument up and over on their shoulder, we're turning their head. This side of the jaw is what goes into the chin rest, not the chin. It is not a chin rest. It is, I like to call it a jaw rest. Some people don't like that term either, but I think that describes it a little bit better than rather calling it a chin rest. Your chin, if you were to give the students something to aim for, could aim for the tail piece. So if they're aiming for that tail piece with their chin, then their jaw will land in the right spot for the chin rest. Okay? Then the other things that we want to make sure that we have is the instrument is almost parallel to the floor. Sometimes I angle it a little bit down, so it's not exactly parallel, but just a little bit down. And then you also want to look at this angle here, make sure that it's not too far this way and certainly not too far back that way. Take a look at the muscles in the student's neck. If this is popping out right here, that means that the chin rest is too high. You want to lower that or lower the shoulder rest. Making sure that the shoulder rest gets put on properly. You notice there's a curve in the shoulder rest, and like if you're using the Kuhn or the Everest shoulder rest, one side is bigger than the other, so sometimes you can put a little sticker here and a sticker on the instrument and tell the student to match the stickers, and that way you'll avoid having those improperly put on. They should be put on so that they don't move and they don't come off, okay? And then when they go up on the shoulder, the student is not squeezing, because that is also another problem and can loosen the shoulder rest. From cupcake position, we're going to bring the hand down. Now, my instrument does not have tapes, but you would have put 3 tapes on your instrument. I only use 3. I do not put the 4th finger tape on there, and that's a whole other conversation. But if you do use the 4th finger tape, then your fingers need to go down and look like a fan, okay? And what I like to look for in the left hand is that your thumb is looking like a banana, pointed towards the ceiling as if I had water coming out of my banana-esque thumb. And it's on this tape that is the 1st finger tape, so it's directly across from your 1st finger for violin and viola. Okay? Now your 1st finger, I tell them that it should look like a coat hanger hook. That's the only finger I really care about what it looks like. It needs to look like a coat hanger hook, and I need to be able to play on that tip. And if you do that, all the other fingers will go down exactly the way they should for that hand type. Some people talk about curving pinkies. I don't believe in that. If it's in tune, it's right. Because the minute you tell somebody that they have to make a particular shape with their hand, and what happens if their finger is not big enough to do that, then you have all sorts of concoctions of left hand setup that just are not productive later on in advanced playing. So what we want is to think of tables on each of our fingers. Specifically that 1st finger one, if I could put something there like a table, then your left hand is correct. And again, if it sounds right, it is right. So the fourth finger, my fourth finger doesn't round, but it works for me, and I think that's important. The minute you tell students that they have to produce a particular shape, I think gets us into trouble in the long term. So always understanding that things are in motion. So I can swing my elbow here. My thumb can be in motion when I'm changing orientations for my elbow for string changes. But the first finger is the one that really needs to stay like a coat hanger hook, and then everything else comes down like a fan. Okay, I think that's about it for body to instrument setup, making sure that we're aligned here, the shoulders are parallel, I'm not raising one at all, and so always take a look at the back of students and making sure that you're checking for alignment in the back, because that's something you can't see, as well as walking around and checking on this thumb over here. Okay, that's it for right now. I'll see you in the next video, and take care.